Hi all. This Sunday is quiet here in Portugal. We are going through a very weird weather period. Here is the middle of July, the middle of summertime in the northern hemisphere, but the weather is cold. It's very chilly outside. It's damp, drizzle, cloudy, a little foggy. It definitely doesn't feel like summer. Feels like definitely autumn, fall. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about something that is very remarkable, very interesting. What is happening every century in the 80s, every century, going way back to the 1680s. In 1684, Isaac Newton published the universal law of motion in 1684. But it's not about that. In the 1880s, very much everything useful for mankind was invented. Starting in 1879, when Edison invented the light bulb. But in the 1880s, the cash register, the way to know to measure earthquakes, a lot of things. I don't really have anything written about that, but I know that very much every useful invention for the mankind was made in the 1880s, including some really special drinks in the United States, such as the 23 ingredients or 23 flavors Dr. Pepper launched in 1885 as well. Not just the very famous Coca-Cola was also launched by a pharmaceutical in the 1880s as well, and the really healthy root beer, which is not a beer. If you are not from either Canada or the United States, you probably don't know what it is. Root beer is a unique drink and was commercialized for the first time also in the 1880s. But even way more useful inventions, like the typewriter or the electricity, they also come from the 1880s. And everyone knows in the 1980s everything was great. The best songs and music ever all across the world come from the 1980s. Everyone knows that. But why every time in the 80s, even 1680s, 1780s as well, more inventions than during the rest of the century? 1880s was kind of a miracle for the humanity, and 1980s as well. I was growing up in the 1980s, and I was thinking everything was moving forward clearly. I was thinking it was going to continue that way to the point 2020, everything was going to be perfect, robot controlled, and diseases free. But sadly, as you know, we are not nearly as advanced as we thought we were going to be. We're kind of moving backward again. We have to wait to the 2080s. Just think about that.